Hello everyone, my name is SiC and welcome back to my playthrough of Banished. This is the third episode, but unfortunately I made a mistake. I did not actually record a voiceover for this video. See, the thing is, when I am recording squad videos, I have to turn off my Bandicam, or I have to turn off the microphone in Bandicam, because otherwise I will record myself 2 times. So I did that, and then I went back to play Banished, and I did actually try to turn the microphone back on, but I must have misclicked, and I recorded this video and no voice of mine was ever recorded. So yeah, it's a little bit annoying because I did quite a lot of talking in this video, as I always do, and none of it got recorded, which is unfortunate. But I'm going to try to talk about what's going on in the video, and hopefully I can still make sense of it all. So I just placed down a forester lodge because I wanted to have a steady income of wood, because we're not getting any, or at least nothing is automated at the moment, because, well, you know, we've been digging up all the trees by hand or cutting them down by hand. And so the forester lodge will be my first attempt to get some more, or like a steady income of logs without me having to cut away bits of forest every time. And I wanted to have a stockpile close by as well, of course, because otherwise they would have to walk all the way up into the little fort area, which is at the moment in, my only stockpile. And for this I create a stockpile that is just for wood, nothing else. And so all of my logs will be stored here, right next to the wood cutter. Yeah, it will be immediately transported over to the wood cutter, and from there it can be immediately put into the storage barn, and so it's a little nice loop of well, just one resource. You know, later on we were going to have to try to get other buildings in as well in the same way, in like a smaller loop. And yeah, I'm basically looking at the children in the houses to see if anybody is almost grown up or has grown up and is in need of a house. And there actually was a couple, so I am going to place down a log cabin, because I do want to keep up, of course, with well, I guess you could call it a steady production of children, because I do need workers. And yeah, this will be the last 2 houses, but I'm going to pause one because I only need there's only room for one more I only need 1 house for 1 family at the moment. Later on I can get started on the 2nd house as well, but it's always nice to place those in advance. Doesn't really matter in this little bit of section, but yeah, and here I'm looking to see where the radius of the forest lodge is ending, because I want to try to place some more wood or some more cabins. But as you can see, it doesn't quite work out. It's not exactly yeah, like I'm going to have some space left for roads or something like that, but I cannot put them on, or like I cannot turn it to the side. I have to place it like all the other houses, but it's going to leave me with 2 spaces. So I did not quite figure out what to do with that at the moment, at this moment in this video. And I did notice I'm running low on stone and iron, so I'm cutting some more down, and also to make room for the forester lodge to work, because if there's rocks and iron in the way, then the forester lodge cannot actually place down any new trees, which we do want, of course. And it's a little bit annoying because I don't know what my line of thinking here is anymore. I'm just looking at the production tabs of these buildings and see what they produce at the moment. And I think, yeah, because once more trees will be planted, the production of the gatherer's hut should go up as well, because basically the more trees you have, the more well, yeah, more herbs and berries and roots and all that kind of stuff will grow. And now I'm looking at the llamas, because I did build 2 pastures, but for some reason I couldn't split the herd up quite yet, because I wanted to have 2 pastures. We're not getting any meat from them at the moment. You only get meat once a pasture is full, and grown animals can be slaughtered for the meat. And basically they need to produce a replacement a replacement llama for every one we kill. So at some point in the video I will be able to split up the herd, and then I will start having 2 sections of llamas in my pastures. which is really good. Because it's a small pasture, it will be filled up quicker. It only needs 8 people, or not 8 people, it needs 8 llamas, and then it will start to produce meat, and that happens quite soon. So Verdellen has grown up, as you could see, and I think there's another boy on the way pretty soon, not her. And I'm still looking at Anasta and Alonso, because I was still not sure if she was actually his daughter or his new wife. And his new wife I would have found very upsetting. It does actually turn out that Anasta is his daughter, and she's just living with her father all this time. Which was, to be honest, a bit of a relief, because these numbers, like, I actually really should stop looking at them, but I can't help myself. And these numbers really fuck with my head a little bit, you know. It's just so bad to see like a 21-year-old guy with like a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old girl, things like that. You know, that shouldn't happen, and occasionally it does. You know, if the game counts them as an adult, if they're fully grown according to the game, then you know it doesn't care about age groupings anymore, whereas I do. A little bit at least, so I shouldn't let it bother me too much, but yeah, what are you gonna do, right? Let's see, what else am I looking at? I'm looking at, what's this? Schools? Courthouse? Not sure what my line of thinking here is, actually. Town hall, town arrival, schoolhouse. Yeah, I think I'm looking at schools, but I'm not entirely sure. Or plank production, something to put in into the gap there that doesn't fit the houses so neatly. So I'm looking at getting a sawmill or something else like that, like a water wheel sawmill, because I do need some planks for more advanced production. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure where to place it, because I would generally like to place it on the river, because it has running water, and the lake is pretty still, so it doesn't really look all that great if that's like the production area, you know. Whereas this location down by the river makes a whole lot more sense. Let's see, yeah, I think this is the point where I figure out, or pretty soon after this, I figure out I can split the herd. And I will actually do that and move the llamas into 2 pastures. Oh yeah, I'm looking at stored materials as well, because I'm not sure what the dry goods are. The game doesn't tell you, or the mod doesn't tell you what the dry goods are. So I think it's things like bone meal, reeds, things like that, but I'm not entirely sure. And I don't think I will ever find out unless I read a Wikipedia article somewhere, probably. So yeah, I think I'm talking about getting a trader up as well. I haven't done that yet, but I want to have a look at all the things that I could do to use as a trading material. If there's any opportunities for me to take here to get basically a more expensive products. And what I'm thinking about right now is the tannery, because the tannery uses salt and leather, and I can get leather from a hunter, and I can use salt from a mine. And one of those mines that you can place for salt is actually reclaimable, so you can use that land again later on, which is really good. So I figured I might make some tanned leather and use that for trading, and maybe get some seeds that way. But yeah, it's something I have to work on. So right now I'm going through all the mines, and this is the one that has to go into a hill. You have a copper ore mine shaft, which you can place anywhere, but it's for copper. You have one for tin as well. Yeah, the stone and salt mine, that was the one I wanted to look at. And for that as well, because if you want to upgrade these, you need candles. So I'm looking at candles pretty soon after this as well. Or more importantly, I start off with an apiary, because my food is starting to go down a little bit as well. It was up at 2000, something like that, and now it's around 1514. So it's going down a little bit, and I wanted to do something about it. So I figured I'd use an apiary, because it only requires 1 person to work that building, and I can get honey and beeswax. And the beeswax is for making candles, obviously. So I'm figuring out a good place to put it, and I think that's where I'm going to place it, like this. Yeah. I like the placement and how it looks. You know, it looks pretty good in that location. And yeah, time to get some more rocks. Never have enough rocks. I'm going to have to start a mine for rocks at some point as well. I'm not sure how many rocks the apiary actually needed to be built, but I guess it's more than what I had at the moment. And again, I'm looking at the children. I see some girls have grown up. Looking at Anasta again, because it's still bothering me. Yeah, and I figured it was soon about time for a new house. But I'm running into trouble here, as you can see. If you're paying attention, you can see that my food supply is steadily going down, and I'm ignoring it a little bit. You know, it's not as... yeah, I should pay way more attention to it, and I'm not really doing that at the moment. And I'm just like, oh, I could use some more houses, and some houses here, and some houses there, and get more children. But then the food supply is going down, and then it's like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble now. But yeah, that's something that you really have to keep an eye on, because if you overexpand too quickly, I mean, there's a definite rhythm to this game, you know, it's like you cannot build too much at the same time, because it will fuck you up completely. And I'm looking at putting more roads here as well. See if I could fit another house in there, but no, I can't. And I think that's why I decided to build another bit of road, to have an easier access to the stockpile from the other side. Not that it matters a whole lot, but I like it. And now I'm looking at the reflection of the clouds in the water, because when you zoom in you can see the clouds and stuff, and I think it makes the world look a lot nicer, you know, like right now you don't see any cloud cover moving on the terrain, which actually would have been really nice. And it makes the world feel a little bit more real when you can see the clouds in the reflection of the water. Alright, I'm putting in someone to work in the apiary, and at this point I decided, yeah, I'm going to split the llama herd, and I'm going to put this pasture back to work, get another herdsman going, of course, otherwise it doesn't really help much. And now I split the herd, so in some point, yeah, we have 5 out of 8, and once I have 8 llamas in that pasture, they will start generating meat again, while the other pasture for now, or for the foreseeable future, will only produce wool. But that's fine, you know. We do have 4 laborers left, so we need some more people working on food at some point in the future. Because yeah, food is going down, it's at 900 now and it's early summer. This is when it should be going up really, or close to autumn, I think. Or actually no, because I'm not producing any farms. You know, the farms, they get harvested in autumn, and that's why you see a big food increase in that time of the year, usually in Banished. But everything I'm getting so far is hunted or gathered from the wild, and that should be pretty much steady all year around. So, yeah. My food supply is going down, and I think it's because all the citizens, they take about 100 food to their house if they can. Which is a lot. You know, it's like, I have quite a few citizens now. I have 26 working people and 15 children. I mean, that's a lot. That's 41 people, and they all need to eat. And if, well, 26 people are working, I suppose most of them are families, so let's say we have 13 families at the moment. Let's see, 8, 6, 10, 11. I have 11 houses. No, 13 houses actually, so yeah, around 13 families that need to take 100 food back to their house every time. Which is, you know, a lot. It's yeah, and I'm trying to fix this road as well to have a nice little block here. And then I can put some more buildings in that space later on. And I did that as well because I wanted to see, I wanted to give myself a border basically for the radius of the gatherer's hut and the woodcutter's hut. Because where that road is, that's basically where, well, almost practically where the radius ends, at least for the forester lodge. You know, and everything left of that road, it can be used for building stuff. Maybe some more houses, or I don't know what else. That's something to be determined in the future. So we have 6 out of 8 llamas now, so they are steadily increasing, which is excellent, because I do need the meat to come in. We are slightly going up slightly now with 1096. I think that's because of the apiary. It is producing a little bit of honey at the moment. But it's not going to be enough, I don't think. Let's have a look. I think this is where I realize I need more food production, and I'm trying to think about what I'm going to do about it. But yeah, I recorded this video a few days ago, and I uploaded some other stuff in the meantime, and I just didn't figure, or didn't really feel like making this voiceover for this video at the moment, because I had to retrace my steps in my own logic, and that's something that's not always as easy as it sounds. Retracing your own logic can be a little bit hard sometimes, though in this case it's pretty easy. I need more food, so I decided to go for a hunting cabin. Later on I might want to go for the salt mine, again because I want to have a proper resource that I can sell on the marketplace, and maybe get some seeds or some more animals for it in return. And yeah, and of course I do need the meat right away as well, so if I can get some hunters to go hunt and store up some leather for the near future, that would be excellent. And this is where I look. So the current season, oh yeah, just 108 honey. It's not that great at the moment, and I'm not sure why that is, but yeah, we're down at 31 food. That is pretty crazy. So nobody is starving yet because they have a pretty good supply of food in their houses, but you know, it's definitely concerning me at this point. So that's like, yeah, I'm increasing the priority of the hunting cabin there, because I really need that extra meat to come in before people do starve to death. Yeah, it's not stable. Like, it goes up and down, and it depends on when people are coming to get food. And if they don't get food for a while, it goes up a little bit, but once they come to get food, it goes down rapidly. So yeah, the hunting cabin is pretty much almost done. I decided to get another builder, 3 out of 3, even though like there's already people working here, but you know, they might stop working to go home to rest or eat or get food or get firewood and all that stuff, and I really didn't want to have too much of a downtime here. So yeah, 3 out of 3 builders is definitely what you want in a situation like this. And then of course to get the 3 hunters on it right away as well, which does leave us with 3 laborers, which is plenty, and of course the 3 builders who are not doing anything at the moment, or at least they're not doing any building at the moment, so they will take a general laborer's job for as long as they need to, basically. Yeah, and here I'm looking at like what else can I use to produce clothes, but all I have is wool. And at this point I look in the storage barn to see how much wool I have, and I see gold gilders, and I have no idea where they're coming from. I've never seen that before in Banished or in the mod. Like, I've never seen the gills, and I have no idea how much they're worth. They're probably worth something, probably worth more than the regular supplies or goods that I could trade. So I haven't found out yet, but once a trader does show up, we'll find out if I can trade it for anything useful, or if I can trade it for a lot of stuff, basically. But I have no idea how to make more. You know, I have no idea where they came from. Definitely didn't come from me. Maybe because I think you can trade with the Native American village to the right of my village as well, but I have no idea how to do that. So maybe something happened without myself noticing. But I honestly have no idea. And of course I'm trying to get rid of some more rocks and iron. Put some more in a stockpile for myself, and of course get rid of those in the area so more trees can be planted. And at this point as well I'm considering the hunting blind, because that's another building that only one person can work, and I wanted to find it at the edge of the... Not sure if that really matters with the fishery, but I wanted to put it at the edge of the fishery anyway. And then get the road as well, of course. But now I forgot, because you don't see the building blueprints. So it's like, oh, where did this thing go? You know? So I'm trying to figure it out, and then I was like, oh yeah, I think this works out. And it works out great as well, actually, because you can have a little crossroads there, and it works out just nicely. At this point, yeah, still 6 out of 8 llamas, so no food for us yet out of that location, but I think food on the whole will be a lot better now that I have some hunters producing some meat for us. And then I'm thinking, oh, I could use another hunting cabin, or actually try to... I'm not going to build it, but I want to figure out if I can place 2 side by side, or one on top of the other. And I actually can, build a road in the middle as well, which is really cool. As you can see, the road fits in just nicely there. And I could fit in a road in here as well, but it doesn't really do anything, because there's like those 2 houses on the end block it. And I'm not sure if I want to do something with this or not. You know, it's like, maybe later if I need to, but there's no real reason for me to have a road running there. So nobody's going to be coming from that area. So I think maybe later on I will plant some trees or something, just to make the area look nice. Yeah, and at this point I'm looking at the storage barn again. Look how much stuff I have of everything. And the hunting blind has finished, so I needed to get a 4th hunter, of course. Somebody needs to go here and produce some duck meat for us. And I think, yeah, the hunter is on its way. It's Stephania, who is 12 years old. And hopefully a very competent hunter, because we do need her to be. Food is going up slightly again. We're at 388, which is better than 31. Still not very good though, so I'm still concerned, and I still want to expand on my food production here. Get some of the children to grow up and enter the workforce before expanding on any more houses. Yeah, and at this point I'm looking at how many people I have and how many mouths I have to feed. And then, let's see, I think... yeah, I wanted to look at the schoolhouse and see if I could fit it in here anywhere. And I can, and that looks really good. But of course it's way too early for the schoolhouse, so I'm not going to be building that. And then I'm looking at something else that I could place around here, which is, this is a different building, a 1-room schoolhouse. Not sure what the difference is, because I haven't really read it. But I figured I want to look at something else that I could put there. And then I see a gazebo, and the gazebo is like, oh, this could be really cool because it fits there. You can have a little road on the left of it, and it would be a really nice place for the townspeople to gather, and it would look kind of nice. So I'm going to leave the gazebo there, and I'm going to build a little road in the middle. And yeah, and I think that would be a nice place for the children to play during school breaks, you know. And on the whole, like, I've never really built much in way of decoration in Banished so far, because of course the main game didn't have it, or did not have much of it at least. I think it only had trees that you could plant, and that's not a whole lot. But with the mod there comes a lot of stuff that you can build, like the gazebo. And the gazebo, I've never built it before, but I think it looks pretty cool from the little ghost image that you can see of it. Or could see of it, of course, not right now, but yeah, I think it looked pretty nice. And now I'm looking at the food again, and it's like, oh damn it, it's down to 0, now 23. This is horrible, I need more things. I need more food. And no, I'm not getting a whole lot of honey, I'm just getting 240 honey, and a little bit of beeswax. And I think this is where I was talking about wanting to get a 2nd apiary, because I think 1 apiary is not enough to produce enough beeswax to have the candle, or the chantlery, I can't remember what it was called, but I think you need 2 apiaries to give enough beeswax to the place where they make the candles, and or for it to run constantly, basically. So there we have the chantlery, that's the name I was looking for, and then I'm trying to figure out of a nice place to put it. And that's the thing, I was like, oh, I don't really see any place, but then I do find a place up next to the blacksmith. And it overlooks the llamas, and it looks quite nice in that location, I think. So that's where I put it. And of course that does mean I need lumber before I can build it. And that's another thing that I have to think about, is getting lumber, is getting lumber built or made. At this point I'm trying to figure out if there's a nice way to get a dirt road going around the blacksmith and the apiary, or the chandlery actually. And there isn't really, so I figured, yeah, I'll go for the little zigzag road and then connect it up into a nice little square that I can build some more houses in maybe later on. Not sure if that fits, because I don't think I checked, but that would be really cool if it actually does fit more houses in there. So what else am I looking at now? Food, I suppose. Or yeah, I think about expanding with storage facilities, because I have food coming from the left and the right of that storage barn, and the storage barn is quite strategically placed at the moment. But if I want to expand with more, because at this point I'm thinking about getting another gatherer's hut, and if I build it way out here, of course that storage barn is going to be too far away. So I do need to build a new one at some point, because I need all the storage houses to be in a central location, and like the farmers markets in an even more central location for all the people who work in my village. So that's something I'm trying to keep an eye on. But yeah, the food production is not going very well still. We only have 118, now we're back down to 20, and I mean the gatherer's hut is probably the strongest building that you can build at the beginning of the game. So that's why I'm considering a second now, because I need my food production to go up, and the gatherer's hut is the most surefire way that I can think of to do that, because like the fishery is okay, but it doesn't feel like it's producing as much as a gatherer's hut does for the same amount of people working in these buildings. So at this point I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going for a gatherer's hut. I'm expanding my town way to the west, and I'm going to have to build some storage barns in that area, and actually I want to build some houses as well. But then I run into this little problem where, I mean, I'm already in a really bad food situation. Do I really want to add another family to the mix? You know, but then at the same time the people producing my food are living pretty far away, and so their production rate is pretty damn low. So if I, on one hand, if I build that extra house, my production rate will go up. But at the same time, that extra house does take up a lot of food at the same time as well. So it's a little bit of a problem that I'm thinking about, and I'm not sure how to fix at this moment in the video. So right now I'm just thinking about things, I suppose. See if any of the people are starting to bring over any of the stuff that we need, like the logs and the stone. It does look like some people are coming over. And yeah, at this point I'm looking at the storage barn, and I figured that this would be a pretty good location for it. But I'm not sure how to turn it quite yet. Not sure where I'm going with it at the moment. It's like, this is one of those moments where I cannot follow my own logic anymore. It's like, what the hell am I doing? But yeah, I do place a storage barn down there, and it's just outside of the radius, which is really nice actually. We have enough materials to build it as well. And this is the point as well where I go for 7 out of 7 builders, so everybody is working at full speed, because I want the gatherer's hut to be done as quickly as possible. And the 7 workers, well, there's only room for 3 builders. But I mean, if one of those 3 builders goes home, I suppose one of the other 4 remaining builders could take over. I don't know how that works exactly, that kind of logic. But at this point, that building is built, so I take away some of the builders and I put them in the gatherer's hut. And it does leave me with 4 out of 4 builders, 4 laborers, and now I have 8 gatherers as well. So that's a really, really good number all around. But of course, if they have to carry the storage, or yeah, all the wood or the food all the way down to the fort, and the storage barn close to the fort, that takes up way too much time. So at this point, yeah, I did want to have one of these things and maybe another little storage area, but then I figured the one next to the lake is really well placed as well. It's not too far away, so that's something I can use for storage of raw materials, and then the storage barn is for food. and that works quite well. And at this point, I was like, oh, I could maybe build a fishery up the river as well. It will be outside of the radius of the gatherer's hut, and this fishery again would have an access to a whole lot of water, so it would be a very effective fishery. But that's something I haven't started on yet, because I wanted to have some other things as well. As always in Banished, there's, at least with this mod, there are so many things that you want to build at the same time, and you have to prioritize usually food. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm definitely prioritizing my food production, and I'm looking at to see where all the people live and where they work, and to see how far away they are. And I do have some more people growing up, and I have a lot of children who could use, children, I suppose, young adults would be the correct term now. And they need a house, but I don't have the food to be able to give them a home of their own, because if they keep trying to take away 100 food each, it's going to leave people to starve. So let's see, what am I doing here? I'm looking at the water wheel sawmill now. Yeah, that's it. And now I'm looking for a good place to put it again, and I figured at this point in time, I was like, oh, I probably need something closer to home, and I'm thinking about putting it down at the bottom of this river, or lake, exactly there. And it works out perfectly because the road lines up with it really, really well. And this would allow me a pretty steady income of planks, because I do have a really good income of logs at the moment. Again, some more harvesting of the rocks. Get some more stone. But yeah, I think the town is coming along quite nicely. I have a lot of people living in a central location with some jobs on the outside of it. I do want to have some more villagers living a little bit further away from the fort for all the jobs that are a little bit further away from home. For example, the second gatherer's hut could definitely use some people living close by. But yeah, this is the conundrum I was facing. It's like, do I build more houses, or do I just leave it as is? Because the people do have to walk a really long way to get to work and back every time they get hungry or want to rest or do something like that. And yeah, it just isn't doing very much, you know, in this way. Because if I have people living closer, they have a lot less travel time, and that's really important for production. Yeah, we're getting pretty close on finishing the construction on the water wheel as well, or the water wheel sawmill. Not just the water wheel, because just the water wheel isn't doing much for anything, you know. It has to be attached to something. Now it's finished, and I figured it's like, it's time for the production of some lumber logs. And right away it's full and cannot produce anymore, because for some reason I suppose it's counted as a dry good. So it's right away it's like, I can't produce anymore. And apparently I haven't figured it out at this point, but I will. I will notice, and I will adjust our storage for it. Fuel limits and materials, yeah, so that's the thing. I was like, I'm full of materials, I need probably 800 instead of 200, and now it can actually produce again. And then it will probably put the planks in a little stockpile over there. Yeah, I'm looking at the production rate. It's like, this could be a lot better, because it's only 128 mushrooms and things like that, and usually it's around 200, you know, if people are living pretty close. The other gatherer's hut is doing a lot better, I think. And I'm building another road to make sure that I won't build anything in the radius of the gatherer's hut. That's something I like to do, is like I like to build, or like, yeah, wall off these little areas basically with some roads. It's kind of like a visual reminder for myself. And now the first bit of food is being produced, or it has been produced, and it's being stored in the storage barn. So people are hungry because there's not a whole lot in storage, so they come there right away to pick it up and bring it home. And at this point, I'm like, do I want to build this log cabin here or not? And I'm like, yeah, okay, fuck it. I need the production to go up. So build one house, and hopefully that's going to work out. Should be a good balance. But yeah, I'm looking at all the food that people have in their houses, like 183 venison. And it only produces 640 in a season. So that's pretty crazy. You know, it's like 1/6 of all of that food goes into one house, and I have a lot of houses. So not everybody gets venison. You know, people just take whatever they want and however much they want, even if it leads other families to starve. The citizens in Banished are really selfish people, which I figured out long ago. Last season, actually, I had the same problem with food, or I had a problem with food which was a lot worse than it is right now, because nobody is starving yet. People still have enough food in their bellies, and I'm not in that much I'm not into that much trouble, basically. But I definitely do need to work on it and see if I can improve it even more. Let's see, what am I talking about now? Getting another gatherer's hut, probably. Or building some more houses over down the middle, between the gatherer's huts. I think that's actually what I want to do later on, is maybe build a market somewhere in between the gatherer's hut, get some more houses going around it, and then the people from the market, they can go to the storage barns to get food for the market stalls and stuff. And this is also the moment where I figure out, hey, Anasta is out of her father's home, and she is now living with Remia. So no, she was not actually, you know, in this really skewed relation. Oh yeah, she was not in a really skewed relationship, but she is now with a boy. Yeah, now she is not the one who looks creepy. Or now she is the one who looks creepy, not her father. Oh yeah, and I think this is where I start production on the chandlery as well, because I'm getting some lumber coming in. So I have a lot of laborers to spare at the moment, and I have no idea what I'm going to do for what else I'm going to do for food. And I think, yeah, this is the end of the video. So this is the end of the episode. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys again for the next one.